Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Blue Whale. Welcome to the second episode of Why Did You Lose? The series where I spectate your games and tell you why you lost. They don't actually have to be jungle games, but primarily those are the ones that are going to be able to tell you the most about. But they can be whatever. They can be any kind of replay. If you want me to spectate one of your games, you need to get Baron Replays, which is a replay system that records your games while you play and saves the files in a folder in your documents. You can then later watch the games in spectator mode, or in this case, you can email me the file at my business email, which can be found in the About tab on my channel, and is belugawhale8@gmail.com. So a final rundown: get Baron Replays, get the file, attach it to an email, and email it to me at belugawhale8@gmail.com. For the sake of anonymity, I won't be saying the name of the person. However, you'll see their summoner name in game. And if they want to comment about it, if you guys want to comment and say, hey, that's me, I know who it is, so I can back them up in the comment section. And then on a final note, I am going to lay into you guys in this series. I don't say it, I'm not trying to be mean. I love all of you guys. You guys are my fans. You guys are great. But if I don't go on to every single thing that's wrong in your gameplay, you're not going to improve on every single thing. So it might sound like I'm being really mean in the gameplays for Why Did You Lose? That's not really the case, but I really want to focus on everything you do wrong. So it's going to sound like I'm being mean, but I'm not. I'm not, guys. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Okay, before we jump into the gameplay, we're going to talk about the runes and masteries real quick, because those do make a big difference in game. And here we just have a picture on Google Docs of the runes and masteries, because he attached them to the email. That's not necessarily necessary. If you do want to email me a replay, you can just say. If you didn't use what I tell you to use, you can just say it, or hopefully I'll be able to find it in your match history anyways, but I couldn't find it for this game. But anyways, none of that matters. These runes and masteries are close to being right, but they're not right, as you guys would know, probably know if you've seen my videos. So first off, the cooldown 7.5 is okay, but if you take 5% flat, 5% scaling, that's a lot better because it rounds out your build at 10%. Late game, depending on the build that you're going. 7%, I can understand, maybe it's his personal preference, but it's wrong, so I have to touch on it. I'm not saying this made him lose, but this is a why did you lose, so I'm going to touch on everything that is wrong in it. So, these are wrong, and then, that's the only part though, rest of it's absolutely right, all of that's correct, and then the masteries. We don't take Fury. If you're taking the attack speed reds, which he is, then you need to take the sorcery mastery. If you want to switch those and take dual pin reds and then the attack speed mastery, that's okay. Makes your first clear a little more difficult, but it does make you do a little more damage late game. However, you never take both. You never double down. This is fine. Double-edged sword. Vampirism. I guess he would go Vampirism because he's having trouble clearing, but natural talent is much, much better on Ekko. And then Oppressor or Bounty Hunter, either one was fine. I recommend Oppressor, that's correct. Now over here, this is right, but this is so wrong. So this is the one that gives you bonus armor, magic resist, depending on what you build. That's great on Ekko because you're going to be building mostly resistance items. But then, if you're going tank, and I think in this gameplay he actually went for the damage build, which these are a little bit easier to clear with, so I guess that's what he wanted, and he just wanted to be tanky with Strength of the Ages. That's okay, but if you're playing Ekko, take this instead, take Natural Talent instead, and then if he took this because he's having trouble jungling, then what he needs to do is take this mastery, the reduced damage from jungle monsters. This one just sucks. This one sucks so much on junglers compared to this one. This is really a support mastery. And then the rest of it's good. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. However, with the build that he does go, I have watched the replay once, even though it's been a couple days since I watched it. I'd probably recommend Thunderlords, but I understand why he went Strength of the Ages, that's fine. But if he fixes up these things, they're going to make a lot of difference early game. However, he did fine, and you'll see, but once again, this is a why did you lose, so I have to touch on everything that's wrong, and these are wrong. Now let me move on to the gameplay. Okay, so here we are in the game. I'll go ahead and play it. And first off, well, let's get rid of that. Okay. So these are the teams, and looking at these teams, our player, which I already said this is his name, the Ekko guy, obviously, He's already at a disadvantage. His team comp really sucks compared to the enemy team. His team comp does not have a tank. They have a really weak AD carry, and they have a low mobility AD carry mid. They have two low mobility AD carries. They have Bard support, who's not a tank either. They have Tryndamere top, who's not a tank. So the build path that our friend here goes, he went a full AP build pretty much. I don't remember the exact build, and we're gonna see it as the video goes on. And I know why he did that. He did that because his team is all AD. However, in this scenario, when you're versus a Tahm Kench, it's a lot more important that you get a tank of your own, because what's going to happen late game, if the enemy team gets ahead, is Tahm Kench or Leona or Lee Sin or whoever is going to run into their backline. Their two AD carries have no escapes. And then he is not going to be able to do too much. If he was a good frontline, I think it would go a lot better. Here, there's a lot of level 1 shenanigans. The enemy team's kind of invading, his team's kind of fighting back. You know, it's a little back and forth. The Bard lands a good stun on the Ezreal, and they are going to get a kill there. He's already got first blood, but it happened so late that he's not going to be able to back. It's already 1:30, so he can't go back to base. So overall, well, this Ashe should have left too, but I guess I don't know who asked for a leash, but his bot lane should have backed, and he should have just gotten a bad leash on his own. Because what he did here was he made his bot lane pretty much lose their lane. But anyways, I know he went full AP because his team doesn't have any AP, but in the scenario, Tank Ekko still does magic damage, guys. It's not like you suddenly don't do any damage or only do physical damage. It does plenty of damage, trust me. And then his team would actually have a tank, which they really need, versus Tahm Kench and Leona. But build aside, you can win with any build. Build's not why he lost this game. And here, his clearing's fine. As far as Ekko mechanics, he actually has them down pretty well. I do remember that. You'll see more. What I would have done this game, and what I usually do, especially on red side, is a long clear. So I would have cleared Gromp, Blue, Wolves, Raptors, Krugs, ward my red to make sure Lisa didn't come and steal it. And then after I come back, get my red, then I start ganking. But he actually does a pretty weird clear. He skipped his Wolves, but I think he is still going to do a long clear. We'll see. I'm going to speed it up a little bit, though, because it's not that important. As far as clearing goes, he did it fine. You got his W level 1, get your Q at level 2, and get your E at level 3, max Q first. He knows all that. He knows how to play Ekko mechanic-wise, but he doesn't know how to win games, game strategy-wise. So look at these two teams. Oh, yeah, and then here he's going to back. And he should have killed Wolves before he backed here, because now he's not going to have enough money to finish his... Oh, he got first blood. I forgot he got first blood. Okay, that's probably why he did that, because now he's going to hit level 4 after red just because he got first blood. I completely forgot about it. That's fine. Okay, but we need to talk about the team comps. What lanes should he gank on the enemy team? Basically, his team has Tryndamere top, and no matter how much you gank for a Tryndamere, it's still Tryndamere late game. Either they have a lot of CC and he can't do anything, which this enemy team has a lot of CC and he's not going to be able to do anything, or they don't. Tryndamere's going to run rampant whether you gank for him or not. That's Tryndamere, guys. Ganking for Tryndamere can put him a little bit ahead. I think they do actually get the Tahm Kench here. Maybe not. But even if you do snowball the Tryndamere, if they have a Malzahar suppress, a Leona with exhaust, a Leona, you know, Leona alone is enough to dissuade a Tryndamere, but she also has exhaust. She also has Tahm to either eat Tryndamere or eat anyone he's going after. This is not a game that Tryndamere can possibly carry. Then you look at their bot lane. They have Ashe. In my opinion, Ashe sucks. Ashe is such a bad champion. But she can carry. She's okay. She's definitely better than Tryndamere in this case. It's okay to go bot. And they have mid Varus. Varus does a lot of damage, but he has really low mobility. However, he's really their only good champion that looks like to carry this game. So as far as ganking priority, he needs to go mid the most, because especially against Malzahar, Malzahar doesn't have any escapes other than flash. So mids are really easy gank. Once Varus hits 6, Varus just starts ulting the Malzahar. Varus ult is very easy to follow with an Ekko W. Boom, Malzahar's dead every single time. Mid first the most, bot second. Bard and Ashe together have a lot of CC, and Leona's pretty easy to kill. She is tanky, but as far as escape wise, she's pretty easy to gank. Ezreal you're not going to kill, so don't focus him. Bot wise second most, and then top last, because we already talked about two things. Well, we talked about one thing. Tryndamere's not going to do anything in this game, no matter how much you gank for him. And then two, it's a Tahm Kench, and it's like the reverse of Tryndamere. No matter how much you put behind the Tahm Kench, he can still press W on an ally and be a portable Zonias for them, right? So no matter how much you gank a Tahm Kench, it's still Tahm Kench, and it's still going to annoy the mess out of you. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to pan the camera there. But basically, he comes to save his Varus. His Varus almost died to the Malzahar. He gets a stun off. He gets the Malzahar kill. That's great. Varus is the champion we want to win this game. We need to snowball to win this game. Basically, you need to look at Varus's ult, see it has 104 seconds, and plan to be back mid within 2 minutes. Now, we'll look top. Here he's coming top. Tryndamere is level 6, so technically they could dive this Tahm Kench because Tryndamere has his ultimate. But I think they do actually get him here too. I think they do kill the Tahm Kench this time. This is the last gank I would have gave a Tryndamere versus Tahm Kench lane. They did get the Tahm Kench. Tryndamere is undeniably ahead of the Tahm Kench now. And there's nothing else that you can do up here except maybe kill Tahm Kench 2 or 3 of the times. You guys are going to see. I'm pretty sure they get 2 successful ganks on Tahm Kench out of like 6. He does keep ganking the Tahm Kench, unfortunately. We'll see as the game goes on, but in the broadest terms possible, and this is something that I've tried to teach you guys, but I haven't said it enough, you don't gank tank lanes. You gank lanes that have the potential to carry, and in this game versus their team, Tryndamere is not carrying this game, guys. A melee 80 carry versus 10,000 CC and a mobile Ezreal. The only one that Tryndamere might be able to kill is Malzahar. Maybe, but that's a big if. So Tryndamere's not going to do anything in this game. Don't gank the Tryndamere. Varus is your best bet, because Varus actually does damage compared to Ashe. Ashe is your second best bet. So focus mid first, focus bot second. And top lane's not even struggling. Tryndamere is winning his lane, so just don't go up there. Here he invades the Lee Sin at a good time. This is fine. This was a good time to invade because Varus is kind of... Well, no, Varus isn't pushed, but basically... No, that was actually a bad time to invade, but it worked out. When you're full life on Ekko and you have your ult, you're supposed to play pretty aggro, which is what he's doing now. That's fine. Here he's going to gain the Malzahar. It's how he throws his W. I think this was probably warded the way Malzahar reacted. What he needs to do is go get his Raptors, smite them, and then come back and gank mid again. And we did see Lee Sin approaching mid, which is what they're pinging, so he needs to watch out for that too. So let's just see what happens. He sees that he's warded. It's warded right here. Okay, the ward does die. He saw that he was warded. Malzahar probably warded this. We'll see. It's not warded, so he needs to gank mid. The Varus ults. He follows up with the W. Does the W a little bit too late. That's just kind of solo queue. I guess solo queue stuff. Can't coordinate that too well. Here the Malzahar ults him and the Lee Sin comes in. Here he runs completely away, and I don't agree with how he played this. I think he is going to get the Lee Sin here, which he does. But basically, he went Strength of the Ages, and he has over 600 life right now, and he put an 80 carry between him and the Lee Sin. Even if you're playing a damaged jungler, that's not the priority of who lives and who dies, guys. Basically, tanks die first. If a tank is the last person alive in a fight, they did something wrong, unless if his team just messed up immensely. But in a perfect world, tanks die first. If it's a jungle tank, they die first, and then junglers die. Junglers are second up on the priority of death list because junglers get less gold than laners, so it doesn't make sense for them to be the sole carries of a game. So junglers should try to die next. Well, supports. Okay, tanks first, supports, junglers, and then you have your carries. And I guess AD carry, the bot lane AD carry, so Ashe in this case should be the last one to die. And what he did in that mid fight was he put Varus between him and Lee Sin. Lee Sin was not going to kill him. That was not possible at the health that he was at. Lee Sin was not going to one-shot him. But Varus has less health total, and he had less of a health bar than Ekko, so he's obviously going to die. And all he did in that scenario was he gave Lee Sin a kill. While he did get a kill out of it, when you don't have to trade kills for that, why would you? Well, you know, why wouldn't he take that for his Varus? And then here, we have the third or fourth gank top, and guess what's going to happen? He's going to dive so much that he almost has to ult. Then he sends the Tryndamere into diving. The Tryndamere ult's way too early. He's ulted now. Tryndamere ulted. And Tahm Kench, you got his E, guys. You got his E. You got one spell for both of your ults and all of your mana. Now you got it back. Now Tryndamere can't even do anything in lane because he turret dived for so long. And you got Tahm Kench's... Yeah, I'm pretty sure his E is a shield. You got his E. Stop coming top. Okay, if he didn't know it by now, by the champion matchup, he should know that when you have one successful gank out of 3 or 4, whichever one it is, it's awful. He's only had one successful gank top. He does not need to go top again. He's had a successful gank mid, and he's ganked mid twice. So that means half of his ganks are working mid, and a third at best of his ganks are working top, and he hasn't even tried bottom. However, his bottom is feeding. Me, myself, personally, I don't gank lanes that are losing this harshly, so I probably wouldn't go bot. And even though it looks like Varus is getting beat, he has had success mid lane, so you need to go back to lanes that you have success. Here he's coming bot. I think, like I said, at this point, bot's too far gone, but the Ashe hits a great ult. He follows up with his W. They do get the Ezreal, so this is a pretty successful gank. And then he chases Leona down. There's no reason to do this. I don't think they're going to kill her. Yeah, they're not going to kill her. Okay, they do. Okay, they don't. They don't kill her. Ashe almost dies to the minions. He's going to chase too long. This is a support, dude. Who cares? Even if you get the support, what are you doing? You might boost your KDA. Bad idea. What they should have done is as soon as they killed Ezreal, just assume that you're not going to kill Leona because she is a tank support. She was full life. And go get Dragon. They could have got Dragon. And then right now, push bot a little bit. They are going to push bot. You do want to get turrets as well. Turrets are important, but right now all he's doing is gobbling Ashe's CS, and they're not going to get this turret because Ashe doesn't do damage to turrets. Ashe doesn't do any damage anyways. So, long story short, as soon as they killed Ezreal, they should have ran to this dragon and got it immediately. But they chased Leona, they got themselves both low, and they did, what, this isn't even a fourth of the turret's life. They didn't even get 1,000 damage on the turret, so not the optimal strategy there. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Now, as far as his build, we can talk about his build too a little bit. I already mentioned that he should have gone tank at Ekko, but we can talk about his build. He goes for runic echoes, which I can understand if you prefer runic echoes. That's fine. Even if you want to go the Bruiser tank build with runic echoes, I can understand that. I don't recommend it, but I can understand people that do that. But he builds runic echoes and he goes straight into Merc Treads. Merc Treads is good versus their team. They have a lot of CC. And now he's going into a Rod of Ages. I don't actually agree with the Rod of Ages in this game. He's doing pretty well, but once again, okay, here we have a gank on Tahm Kench. Uh-oh, guys, he might E here, and you're about to have to ult because you keep turret diving a Tahm Kench. Can't get over how bad it is to gank Tahm Kench. When you have a Trinity, like, if a Tahm Kench is top, you might gank him once early. That's what this guy did. 2 ganks early in his first 2 ganks. I think he got the Tahm kill. That was good. Leave it alone. You know, Dragon's on the other side of the map, and all your carries are on the other side of the map, so go to them. But anyways, his build, he is going to go Rod of Ages here. That's okay, but it is kind of late in the game to get Rod of Ages, but that's fine, actually. That's fine. But after Rod of Ages, he needs to get a armor item because Ezreal is super fed, Leona is super fed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Lee Sin's kind of fed, and Tahm Kench doesn't do any damage. Leona doesn't do any damage. So they have 2 physical damage dealers, and then here he does really well. He like I said, he has his Ekko mechanics down. He outplays him. He gets a kill on Malzahar. Varus stays too long. There's not too much you can do about that. He didn't need to E back in, but they don't punish him for it. That's fine. Like I said, mechanics-wise, this guy is good at Ekko. I have to admit, he's got most of the mechanics down. But gameplay-wise, he's not the best. Okay, and then, let's see what I was talking about. So they have 2 champions that deal damage, Lee Sin and Ezreal. They both do physical damage, and then they have Malzahar. Malzahar's 0-2. Build some armor. Build some armor. Even in my in-depth Ekko guide, I said on the Bruiser build, if your team is really behind and your versus a lot of AD, you need to build some armor. His team's very behind, and he's versus enough AD to justify getting a armor item. Even if he wants to get his Zhonya's, that would be fine. After his Rod of Ages, he is going to get Rod of Ages first. But the reason that I'm ranting about this so much is because I've already seen this, and I remember that he didn't build a single armor item this game. He does build an Abyssal, but you can't just ignore the 6 kill Ezreal by not getting an armor item, right? Zhonya's would have been fine. Zhonya's is super expensive though. I probably would have just gone Dead Man's Plate because they don't auto attack that much. They just actually do physical damage. And here, I think they are obviously going to get the Tahm Kench here. He throws the emote up, but this is nothing to be proud of. That's the second Tahm Kench gank out of 7, and it's the second one that worked out of 7. That's not something you throw your emote about. And it wasn't even like he styled on him. Not that I should rant on this guy for throwing his emote. He can do it whenever he wants, but I'm just saying, it's so bad to gank tanks, guys. It's so bad. That's why he lost this game. We can talk about all the other mistakes, but the reason that he lost this game is because he ganked a lane with a carry that was not going to be able to carry, and all he did was put behind a tank that is going to be a super tank no matter how much you gank him. That's the thing about Tahm Kench. He has 2 life bars. No matter how much you gank him, he still has 2 life bars, you know? So just don't do it. And then build-wise, he did need to get an armor item. He throws his W here because he sees Leona's about to engage. He procs it too early. What he should have done is jumped in front of his Varus, but that's okay. The Varus does live. They get the Lee Sin, and then he's still got plenty of life. He's going to try to chase down this Malzahar. I would leave it be. I think he's about to ult here. He does. He's going to be able to get out of that. Right now, he doesn't need to be clearing mid. All of his jungle's up, and he's already ahead. He's way ahead of everyone in this game. Let's look at total gold. He has 7,000 total gold. The only one who's even close is the Mega Fed Ezreal. So he's ahead. At this point in the game, this is when you need to remember that junglers don't solo carry games. The way that you carry the game on a jungler, and I've said this before, is you get somebody else to carry for you, pretty much. You can get really fed, but in the end of the day, if your team is losing and your carries aren't doing anything, then you're going to lose, no matter how fed you are. Even on Master Yi it happens, and Master Yi is the only one that I would say that can solo carry. Not that you should play Master Yi, but under the right conditions, Master Yi can solo carry. Don't take that as, oh, I gotta play Master Yi to win. Don't do it. Just don't. But anyways, back to the game. He needs to stop taxing lanes. He's got his whole jungle to clear. Right now, I don't know why he didn't go for Krugs. He went straight to his Raptors. I think he might be getting his Raptors and then he wants to check out Rift Herald. They don't need to do Rift Herald. They already have top turret. Okay, the enemy team's doing Rift Herald. If he can prevent this, that's good, but really, what he needs to be doing is just clearing his jungle, getting as fed as he can, and asking his laners to farm their lanes. They see 2 people here. He should be telling his bot lane to push bot. There are 3 people here. They get into a little fight. He does not have his ult. Trenimir's dead. Trenimir's dead. And here, Tren dies, and I don't think anyone else dies, but even though he didn't, I don't think he told the Trenimir to go in there, he can still take some of that blame because he was trying to fight a 2v1 for no reason at all. If the enemy team gets Rift Herald, only thing that Rift Herald does is it gives the person that gets it a slight combat boost, and then it gives your minions more attack speed. But if you have good wave clear, which if you have Varus and Ekko, you have good wave clear, it's not a big deal if they get Rift Herald. Baron is the one that makes minions impossible to kill. That's when you have to worry. But Rift Herald, dude, just get your Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp. They were all up, and then they could be pushing bot while the whole team's up here messing around at Rift Herald. But anyways, what he does is he decides to keep fighting. The Malzahar unfortunately had Ignite, and that's going to just barely kill him. He almost got out of that. Another item that I would recommend in this game is a QSS. When you're versus a suppress, any suppress, whether it's Warwick, Skarner, or Malzahar, it's not a bad idea to get QSS. But on top of the Malzahar suppress, they also have a Tahm Kench, and you can QSS and get out of Tahm Kench's mouth. And when there's 2 champions that are solely countered by QSS, I would recommend getting it this game. I didn't actually say it in my in-depth guide, so I can't blame him for not getting it, but I can say that that's something he did wrong. What he could have done is built the QSS instead of a Negatron. He is going to go into Abyssal. I think that his mindset was that he needed to do more damage because his team wasn't doing much damage, which it's not that his team doesn't do damage, even though I did say Ashe doesn't do any damage. I don't like Ashe, but the fact is his team's not getting the chance to do damage because everyone on their team is easily killed and CC'd. So even if he wants to go this damage build, I understand that. What he should have done is gone to QSS and to an armor item. If he wanted to go Zhonya's to do the damage, that's okay. But all he's setting himself up for is exploding 1 target and then probably getting CC'd and dying. That's what his build's setting him up for this game. And when you're behind, you don't get to play like that. When you're behind, you have to expect long, drawn-out fights that you might be able to win. Here he comes back top to defend the turret because they have Rift Herald, but they don't win a 2v2. They do not win a 2v2. They don't at all. Tahm Kench saves the Lee Sin here. Trinimir's already ulted. Trinimir can't do anything. It's time to leave this. I think he actually does. He might get the Tahm Kench here. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched this. Tahm Kench messed up there by eating him, actually. Trinimir comes in. Okay, he is going to get the Tahm, and he might... I think he gets the Lee Sin, too. So on paper, it like... He might not get the Lee. Well, we'll speed it up. Lee hits the Q but doesn't follow it. And then Lee Sin gets away. So they got Tahm, but in return, the enemy team got several turrets, which no one's defending because Ashe had to come up and save him. And they traded Trinimir for Tahm Kench. And if you guys remember the priority that we talked about earlier, in this scenario, a tank died for a carry. Tanks are the first ones you want to die. They're perfectly fine with Tahm Kench dying. And then Trinimir died. He's a carry. That's the last person you want to die. So on paper, that's a bad trade on its own. But in the meantime, Varus died because he didn't have Ekko there to help him, because Ekko is the only one doing well this game. Since he's the only one doing well this game, he doesn't get to play... basically, when you're the only person doing well, it's a completely different play style than when you're ahead and you're just really far ahead. When your whole team's ahead and you're like the forefront of that, like if your team's winning by a lot and you just happen to be winning the most, that's how he's playing. That's not how you play in this scenario where you're the only one doing well. Basically, it sucks. It totally sucks. But what he has to do this game is play babysitter for his team, because if he's not around, there's no one to stop Mega Fed Ezreal here, Star Destroyer Ezreal, or Invincible Leona or Tahm Kench to run all over his team. If he's not there, they can't do anything about that. So that's why he has to kind of play babysitter and just hang out with his carries. Right now, he's top killing the Tahm Kench again. He does get the Lee Sin. He might get the Tahm here. He should win a 1v1 versus the Tahm, but still, even if he does, in the meantime, Varus had already died. Ashe died because, well, really, that was Ashe's fault. I can't put that on our friend here. It's not his fault Ashe died. But he does get a double kill. But in the meantime, Varus did die. Varus, our one hope for light in this game, is now 1-6 because we didn't gank his lane enough. And you're still losing turrets. They're about to get this turret with Leona Malzahar while he was top clearing a wave. It sucks, but he's playing this game, like I said, the simplest terms is that he's playing this game like his team is winning and he's the most ahead, when really he has to play this team as the babysitter for his whole team. And what he needs to do is wave clear, group with his team, keep his carries alive, try to get them somewhat fed so that they can help him win the game later. It's horrible, but that's how you win games. Here, they do manage to catch the Malzahar and Leona, and Trinimir got both the kills, which is good. It's better than them going on him, because he has plenty of kills. He's 9-1. He has enough kills. Even if he's on full damage Ekko, which he is, he's got enough. It'd be better if Varus got some of the kills, but at least he got assists, you know. That was a step in the right direction, but he just did go visit with his carries and help them kill some people. That's a step in the right direction. As far as what his team can do to win at this very point in the game, the list is slim. What they can do is get wards on Baron, and if the enemy he needs to smite his wolves right here, by the way, because he saw that it was warded by Lee Sin, and then smiting it gives him vision of this whole area, but he didn't smite it. He didn't have a smite up because he smited Gromp. That's okay. Gromp is theoretically the second best one to smite, but when you're this behind, it's never a bad idea to smite your wolves. So I'd probably recommend smiting wolves every time. But anyways, win condition. It's very slim. Basically, they ward up Baron, and they catch the enemy team of Baron, snag the Baron, and then they can win off of that. Or, if it gets to 6 items, and his team builds enough QSSs, which I don't think they build any QSSs, because they're not that high elo, they don't know what they're doing. But on paper, if his team builds a couple QSS, or a QSS on pretty much everyone but Bard, they would win late game. That's all they need to counter this team. If they got those, they would probably actually win very late game. So their 2 win conditions are cheese the enemy team at a Baron, or just take it for a super late game and build correctly. Here his back got stopped and he didn't realize it, but that happens to everyone. You can't. I mean, yeah, that's something that did wrong, but I'm not blaming him for that. But what I can blame him for is coming and killing Tahm Kench again while his inhibitor turret dies. Guys, it doesn't look, he still has a positive KDA after our friend here has spent the whole game top lane. He's barely been to any other lane but top, and the times he has, I think he's been ganking a lane that isn't top 3 times, and he got to kill on Malzahar on one of them, and then down here is where they also killed Malzahar again and Leona. Those are the only 2 I can recall. Stop ganking Tahm Kench. Nobody cares if Tahm Kench feeds. So Tahm Kench is ahead enough of this game to where he can actually pose a threat to people, but even if he was behind, even if Tahm Kench was like 0-8, all Tahm Kench has to do to be useful is buy HP items and eat Ezreal. Since Ezreal got so fed, all Tahm Kench, where's he at? 9-3. All Tahm Kench has to do is eat him when he's in trouble, waddle away, and if he builds enough HP, he's going to be fine. And then Ezreal's going to be fine, and Ezreal's going to carry the fights. But yeah, as far as what they can do to win the game from this point, they need to wave clear, they need wards in their jungle, He doesn't have any wards. I also dislike that. I've told you guys several times, if you buy a red smite, you need to get a warding trinket, because now he's not placing any wards on the map. And the only wards they have are probably from Bard. Maybe one of these is a trinket. Yeah, okay, this is a trinket. That's Bard. That's Bard. And then they had one from Bard. Or maybe Tryndamere. But he himself, him maybe denying a ward every now and then. And there he uses E as not a reset. That was very good. Like I said, I want to emphasize that this guy knows how to play Ekko. He's playing Ekko great. But he does not know how to win games. He doesn't have the proper game knowledge to win games. But as far as Ekko mechanics, he did well, and it does show in his score. His score looks very pretty. But if you're losing a game when you're 10-1, you did something wrong. If you lost the game when you're 10-1, it's because you didn't pressure the map correctly. And then here, he's going to eventually fall because I think Tahm Kench ignited him and Malzahar E'd him. And it's just too much. Now, at this point, they can't kill Tahm, which it's Tahm. You're not going to kill Tahm. And then Ezreal was slippery enough to run away. They do eventually kill the Malzahar, but as far as what their team needs to focus in these fights, if they get a Varus ult on Ezreal, they need to instantly kill him. Or an Ashe ult. If they get either of those ults on Ezreal, they should instantly kill him. It's probably not going to happen. So realistically, what they need to do is get into a fight, don't let it last too long, and just kill who they can. So they can probably kill Malzahar and Lee Sin, and then just run away, because you're not going to kill Leona anytime soon. You're not going to kill Tahm Kench anytime soon. And then Ezreal, I really doubt you're going to kill him because he's just so freaking slippery. So, short fights. Make sure you want to drag out the game. We already talked about this. You want to drag out the game as long as you can. You don't drag out games by going in a 5v5 death match, right? You drag out games by getting a few picks and then leaving. Here, the Tryndamere comes in for a nice E on the Lee Sin, but he was too low and he didn't have his ult to snag the Baron. So, congratulations to the Trynd for killing the Lee Sin. That's pretty funny, but he did everything he could. If I was the Tryndamere, I would have just power farmed while I could, because when you know the enemy team's going to get a Baron, the one way that you can defend from it while they're doing it, if you can't contest the Baron, which it's never necessarily a bad idea to contest a Baron because sometimes it can turn games around, but what I usually do, if the enemy team's doing Baron and you don't think you can stop them, which as a top laner without Smite, I'm pretty sure you can't stop them. What he could have done is just shoved out every lane as much as he could, because if you shove out a lane while they have Baron, that means they have to waste some of the Baron shoving the lane back before they even get the Baron on a turret. That's how you can kind of defend from it. But whatever, we should be talking about the Ekko player. Now, as far as his build goes, he's going for the Lich Bane next. I know, like I said, he's going for full damage. I think, one, because of his runes, he might have thought he needed to go for full damage, but those runes still do plenty of damage. Or, I mean, masteries, not runes. Because of his masteries, he probably thought he needed to build more damage than he did. A few damage items is fine. And two, even if you want to go for a full damage build, just buy a Zhonya's, get some armor, please. If you don't like Zhonya's, which Zhonya's is super expensive, so I don't really recommend it, but it's the armor AP item. But if you want a different one, just get Dead Man's Plate. It's super cheap and it's super good on Ekko. Okay, here he gets into a fight. He's doing fine, but he is going to have to ult out of here because they had an Ignite on him and they had all these goons on him. And like I said, at this point, he's not going to be doing too much in team fights. His build is centered around him being able to one-shot somebody, and then he's kind of tanky, so basically all it means is that he'll usually live long enough to kill one person, but then after that he's going to have to ult out or whatever. He's not going to be able to stay alive a whole team fight. But we can talk less about hypotheticals, I guess, and more about what's happening live. I guess I can commentate for a little bit. I'm actually getting kind of tired of talking. I know I sound really sick. If you guys haven't seen the other video today, it's allergy season, and I am very prone to allergies, so I'm just going to sound sick. I feel a little sick. So anyways, we'll talk about what's happening, and I'll slow down talking a little bit. Game's going to be over in a few minutes anyways. As far as his team, they only have 2 turrets on the map, and they're both in top lane. What he could be doing is either sending Varus or Tryndamere bot, because they both have teleport, or he himself could go bot. I really don't like that very much, though. At this point, he has 5 items, and second place on his team has 4.5. This guy has 4. This guy has 3.5. You know, his team's way behind him, so really, it's not anything anybody wants to do. I know that, but Really, he should just be focused on defending turrets, wave clearing there, but otherwise trying to let his team get a lot of the farm so they can catch up and actually do something. Here, Ashe ults in. He throws his W on the Tom. Stop hitting the Tom, dude. Just stop, man. The best case scenario, you get him to press E. Worst case, this happens. He's just going to eat you, and then you have to run away from the fight. In the meantime, this guy could have already killed Lee Sin, which he does ult back in to get. And he could have been pressuring the Ezreal. Ezreal, the 12 and 3 Ezreal, has not been touched this team fight. When you have your ult on Ekko, you're free to do that. You're free to charge the backline. So that's what I would have probably been trying to do. Just get on the Ekko, on the Ezreal, and get some damage on him. You built for a full nuke build, so you might be able to actually one combo him. He doesn't have, well, he has one magic resist item. Ezreal needs to be your primary focus, and even if he doesn't kill the Ezreal, which I doubt he would actually be able to, but he might. Even if he doesn't, he has a Tryndamere, and I mean, his team can clean up. If he gets Ezreal low, Ezreal's going to be a lot less aggressive, and his team's going to be able to clean up. But I think now, yeah, he's not going to be able to defend this. The game's going to end. God, that was a lot of talking. That was a lot more talking than my usual gameplays. But it's a lot easier to see somebody else's mistakes than your own, and that's why when you're watching your own gameplays, I do recommend that. I do think of that as a very good way to climb. Here, nothing's happening. He finally went after the Ezreal for the first time this game, and he's gonna die for it because he didn't have his ult. But anyways, game's over. So, like I said, it's easier to see other people's mistakes than it is your own mistakes. And that's why when I do want you guys to watch your own replays. That's a very good way to get better. Like I said, there is the Baron replays link in the description if you need a program to watch your replays like this. But when you do watch them, don't watch them right after you play them. Wait a few days. If you can wait like a week, that's best. If you can wait so long that you barely remember anything about the game, that's best, because then you're not going to have any bias. You know, right after you play a game, it's really hard. Even if you don't say it out loud, you know, you're still going to be thinking, oh, if my bot lane hadn't died 12 times, or if my mid lane hadn't died 9 times, we probably would have won that game. That's why you need to watch them a week later and just focus on you. This game, his team did not play well, obviously, but there was so much he could have done to help them. There was so much. So, anyways, watch your replays. Wait a little while to watch them. Check out the description for all kinds of links. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I sound sick, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.